Welcome to another episode of the Divorce Lawyers podcast, presented by DivorceLawyers.ca. We'll be discussing a topic that affects many individuals going through a separation: spousal support. I'm Deepa Taylor, and today we'll explore what spousal support is, how it's determined, and the factors that can influence the amount and duration of support after a separation. Please remember, this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice. For personalized guidance, please consult one of our lawyers by visiting DivorceLawyers.ca. Let's start with the basics. Spousal support, often referred to as alimony, is a payment made by one spouse to the other after separation or divorce. The purpose of spousal support is to provide financial assistance to a spouse who may be at a financial disadvantage post-separation. In Ontario, the right to spousal support is governed by both the Divorce Act, for those who were married, and the Family Law Act, for those in common law relationships. Eligibility for spousal support isn't automatic. The spouse seeking support must demonstrate a need, and the other spouse's ability to pay is also considered. Generally, the courts look at several factors, including the length of the marriage or relationship, the roles each person played during the relationship, and the financial impact of the separation on each party. One of the most common questions people ask is, how much will I receive or have to pay in spousal support? The amount and duration of spousal support can vary significantly. In Ontario, courts often use the Spousal Support Advisory Guidelines as a reference. The SSAG provides a range for both the amount and duration of support, based on factors like the difference in income between the spouses and the length of the relationship. However, it's important to remember that these are guidelines, not strict rules. The final decision lies with the court. Several factors can influence the court's decision on spousal support, including the age and health of both parties, their financial needs and resources, the standard of living during the marriage, and any agreements made between the spouses, such as prenuptial or postnuptial agreements. There are generally three types of spousal support: compensatory, non-compensatory, and contractual. Compensatory support is meant to compensate a spouse for sacrifices made during the marriage, such as giving up a career to raise children. Non-compensatory support, on the other hand, is based on need and the ability to pay. Contractual support is based on an agreement between the spouses, often outlined in a separation agreement. Life doesn't stay the same after separation, and there are times when the amount or duration of spousal support needs to be revisited. If there is a significant change in circumstances, such as a job loss, remarriage, or a change in the financial situation of either party, either spouse can request a modification of the spousal support order. It's important to understand that modifying a spousal support order isn't automatic. The party seeking the change must apply to the court and demonstrate that the change in circumstances is significant and ongoing. Unfortunately, there are cases where the paying spouse fails to make the required spousal support payments. In Ontario, the Family Responsibility Office, FRO, is responsible for enforcing spousal support orders. The FRO can take various actions to collect unpaid support, including garnishing wages, seizing assets, and suspending driver's licenses. One common misconception is that spousal support is guaranteed for the spouse who earns less. While lower income is a significant factor, it is not the sole determinant. Courts will consider various factors, and there are situations where spousal support may not be awarded. Another misconception is that spousal support is permanent. In reality, the duration of spousal support can vary. In many cases, it is temporary and intended to provide support while the recipient becomes self-sufficient. However, in longer marriages, or where the recipient cannot become self-sufficient, support may be longer term. A common challenge for recipients of spousal support is achieving self-sufficiency. The transition can be difficult, especially if one has been out of the workforce for an extended period. Courts often encourage and expect the recipient to make efforts towards self-sufficiency, which can affect the duration and amount of support. Spousal support negotiations can be emotionally charged. For many, the need for support can feel like a sign of failure or dependency. On the other side, the obligation to pay can feel punitive or unfair. It's essential to approach these negotiations with a clear understanding of your legal rights and obligations, as well as a focus on fairness and practicality. Given the complexities involved, it's highly recommended to work with legal and financial professionals who can provide objective advice and guidance. A family lawyer, like one from DivorceLawyers.ca, can help ensure that your rights are protected, while a financial advisor can assist in planning for your post-separation financial future. To wrap up, navigating spousal support post-separation requires a careful understanding of the legal principles involved, as well as a clear-eyed assessment of your financial situation. Whether you're the potential payer or recipient, it's crucial to seek professional advice to ensure that the spousal support arrangement is fair and sustainable. For personalized guidance, please consult one of our family lawyers by visiting DivorceLawyers.ca. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of the Divorce Lawyers podcast. If you have any questions or need legal advice specific to your situation, don't hesitate to reach out to us at DivorceLawyers.ca. And as always, if you found this podcast helpful, please share it with others who might benefit from this information. Until next time, take care. You've been listening to the Divorce Lawyers podcast brought to you by DivorceLawyers.ca, your trusted source for family and divorce law in Ontario, Canada. Stay tuned for more episodes where we continue to provide valuable insights on navigating the complexities of family law.